Hey guys, Kelly here. Welcome to my channel. Thank you for coming and spending some time with me out here in my jungle. You're gonna hear the birds. Sometimes they are so freaking obnoxious. Anyway, I digress already early on. So today I wanted to talk to you guys about something that has come up for me several times over the years, and I thought that I would share it and see if your experiences are very similar. I tend to call myself a lupus warrior. I say that I'm battling lupus, and when I'm in pain, I share that pain, and when I'm fatigued, I share that fatigue. When I'm in the hospital, as you all know if you've been here before, I share all of those experiences of battling my body. It is something else I say, battling my body. And over the years, and honestly, it usually comes from outside of the lupus community, and it's usually people who, I don't know how to say this without it sounding really bad, but it's not an attack on them. It's actually appreciated for what they are trying to do, but it's often coming from the Christian side of things. And what that happens to be are the semantics of what I share. So we all know, especially if you are a Christian-based person, that life and death are in the power of the tongue. And I personally think that no matter what you believe, that's kind of true. That's why the negative Nellies were all like, oh God, oh, get away from her, get away from her. And the people who are positive and upbeat, we pull to them because they've got some good energy, if you will. So I do believe that if you're always down in the mouth and always woe is me, that you're not going to attract the best things in your life or the best people in your life. So what you say really does have an impact on your life. Now, with that having been said, it was said to me, why do you say battle? Why are you always fighting in your words? Why are you admitting this pain? Instead of saying you have lupus, why don't you say that you've got joint pain or that you're feeling tired? And my answer to that is, if I am going to be here to share my experience, do you mind? Guess he wants to share his experience too from that rooftop or that treetop. If I'm going to share my experience, I need to be honest about the verbiage. And I can sit here today and I can tell you, okay, my body is in pain, but I'm still admitting to the pain. So why don't I just say that today lupus is beating me up? Because lupus is beating me up, so to speak. And for me, one, I am battling. I'm fighting every step of the way. I'm, working with my healthcare team I've changed the way that I eat. I've changed the country that I live in for my health, for the main purpose of my healthcare. I've changed where I live so that financially I don't have to be as stressed out. I've moved to a place where, I have my stressors here, don't get me wrong. I mean, I've got to learn a whole different culture. I've got to learn a whole different language. And I'm okay with that because there are other things that are more important that I feel like are, I have a greater stake in. And I'm fighting for quality of life. I'm fighting for good health care. I'm fighting for affordable health care. I'm fighting to be as healthy as I possibly can. And so it is a battle. I am constantly fighting. And, I could just say, well, I got lupus. Whatever medicines you all give me, you give me. If you say I can eat that processed food, I'll eat that processed food. I mean, so I could give in. Or I could just say, well, you know what? I'm just going to let it do whatever it's going to do. I could give up. And that is not in my nature. And so I'm battling my body. My body be doing some nonsense, man. And I'm not happy with it. Also, the other side of that, if you will, is that if you came here because you found me because of the symptoms that I share, that you may also have or have a loved one that has, if I am not giving an actual name to what it is that I'm dealing with, then you don't have a spot or a jumping off point to where you can actually start your research or ask your doctor about this potential thing that you could be battling. If I just simply said, oh, you know what, I've got crazy fatigue and I've got joint pain, have a great day, then you are like, wow, that person has some of the same symptoms that I have, but there were no solutions offered, if you will. And for me, while it's great to preserve my own health, so to speak, I'm already battling the illness. So to not give a name to it doesn't change the fact that it has a name. It doesn't change the fact that I'm suffering from those symptoms at the time that I'm suffering from those symptoms. What you won't find me doing is predicting future issues, if you will. So when I think of life and death, if you will, being in the power of the tongue, and you have what you say, in my mind, that's a future tense type of situation. So if I were to say that, hey, I believe that in the next year or so, I'm going to be approved for my VA healthcare benefits, because I'm gonna put it out there, it's gonna be positive, then that is me putting life, if you will, into the words that I'm putting out there. So I don't take new symptoms that I have and share those out. I don't talk about those until I have to, so to speak. And let me even explain that piece of it. When I get new symptoms and I'm dealing with things that my body hasn't done before, I take that to my healthcare team. I take that to my doctors, because those are the ones that are going to be able to help figure out and narrow down what is actually happening and to be able to treat those things. And if what they tell me is not going to be helpful to my social media community, then I don't talk about it. And the only way that I will talk about it is if it affects me in a way that you all get to see. So for example, I talk about my lungs because in the middle of broadcasting, often I will cough. And some of you guys have been with me for years. Some of you were with me when I was doing fashion stuff, and you know that this is not my natural speaking voice. Thanks to lupus, a lot has changed. And so I share those things so that if you're experiencing permanent laryngitis or a new voice or pain in your body or insane fatigue, or if you were an otherwise healthy person and all of a sudden the lining around your heart swelled up, your liver swelled up, your lungs swelled up, your kidney swelled up. If I just say, well, I've got a lung issue, how many of you all, and it makes me cough, how many of you guys would automatically assume that I either had asthma or that I was a smoker at some point? And I've never smoked a day in my life, but I've got a lung disease courtesy of lupus. And if you are new to this disease, you're looking for answers. There's a lot of confusion and things that are going on that the doctors sometimes can't even explain. I mean, after all, in the US, it takes on average 5 to 7, sometimes 10 years for doctors to diagnose this illness. I'll give you, I mentioned that I'm predicting that I'm going to get my VA benefits, and I was going through records from when I was in the military, and there was a mention back in the 90s that they thought that I had markers for an autoimmune issue. Now, it took until 2014, 2015, 2016, or wherever that was, for those things, excuse me, to become so bad that they finally were able to diagnose me. But over all of those years, things that I had been feeling, different pains that I had gone to the doctor for, had been dismissed, had been chalked up as other things. And so me sharing with you guys the actual names, the actual symptoms, the actual things that are helping or that have happened to me may get you to a diagnosis much faster than I did. I've always considered myself a fairly healthy person, but I started really getting into exercise because of the pain in my body, and I was told that the only thing that could help me was exercise. So I exercised to the max. Many of you guys have heard me say I'm an overachiever, so I became a fitness competitor because it drove me to exercise more, and that didn't stop the pain in my body. It just made that body look better, you know. So I'm going to continue to be truthful in my experiences. I'm going to continue to share with you guys the actual verbiage of what is actually currently happening to me. And I think that by sharing it that way, I'm not speaking negativity into my future. But the fact of the matter is I have lupus. Lupus is a chronic pain illness. It is a chronic illness. So based on my past, I already know that lupus can be vicious, if you will, and I don't know what the future holds, but I can tell you that I'm fighting for quality, and I'm fighting to get as much in and help as many as I possibly can. So the verbiage is, I got lupus, and it causes a lot of nonsense, and I will continue to share that until I can't share anymore. So thank you guys for being here. Hope you all are having a low pain, high energy day if you are in this battle with me. And for those of you that are just here because I'm cute, thank you for being here too. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. I'll talk with you guys next go round. Ciao.